Joining me now is Democrat Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, a Financial Service Committee member and a friend of mine. We served together on the committee. Congressman, good to see you. I appreciate you joining me today. I don't want to get you into political trouble, but you and I did a lot of bipartisan work together, which I appreciate. And that's the the way that Congress is supposed to run. But I want to ask you, we're dealing with this issue of inflation. We're at 8.2%. Just want to get your take on how you think and your Democrat, colleagues think on how we address this issue of rising inflation that affect the American family.
Well, make no mistake. Let me first of all say good to talk to you, and I enjoy working with you. Most people probably think we're shooting at each other, but you were right across the hall, and but anyway, had a good time working with you. Let me just say, I think everybody ought to be concerned about inflation because inflation is concerned with you. But I think that we need to keep in mind that that there are a lot of things that cause this. I mean, China's zero COVID policy, disrupting production and supply chains, Putin's invasion of the Ukraine, giant corporations using inflation as a smokescreen. And then people will talk about the stimulus, and make no mistake, $7 million is a lot of money to pump into an economy. But the reason we shouldn't get into a partisan thing about it is because 70% of that $7 trillion was signed into law under President Trump, and I don't blame him for doing it. I think we had to do something, my interpretation, to keep us from plunging into the economic abyss. And so we were able to come through to this point, and I think the Fed still has a road to go to get us out of it, which probably means raising the interest rates again.
I look at back in the Trump era, I think a lot of Republicans were concerned about the size of the package that President Trump pushed through, to your point. But I think, the country was in need. We were in the middle of the crisis. I think, I guess I would tell you my concern has been when we have the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that came, right when Joe Biden was elected, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure package, the $280 billion, it was over $500 billion in the CHIPS Act. There's just been a lot of spending, and I think, and again, we're stuck voting on things as members of Congress you might not like at all. You're stuck saying, is there more good than bad when you vote on a bill? But do you think there's going to be some effort to constrain spending as we look forward over the next couple of years?
We're going to have to. We're going to have to. Look, once we get out of this recession, and I do think we're going to get out of it. I'm one of those people, hopey people. Yes. I think we're going to come out of this. And then I do think that Democrats and Republicans, particularly those folk on the Budget Committee and the administration, whether it's a Democratic administration or Republican, we've got to, I think, come to the conclusion that we need to then, when things are moving a little bit better economically, we need to smooth out our spending. And try to deal with our deficits and our debt. And I think we can do it. We've done it before. We've had some dismal moments before that we've come out of it. I still think we can. And, I think one of the things we got to do is I think the name calling is not good right now. I think what happens is when we start screaming at everybody and calling everybody names and so forth, all we do is get the public more and more divided, and it's going to be difficult for anybody to deal with inflation or anything else if the nation becomes more and more and more divided.
Congressman, I think the only way you're going to find solutions for the country is when you have both sides work together. You can't have one-party solutions, and I think you're making that point. I want to ask you about this, though. The crime issue has somewhat exploded across the country, and I know you're a guy who cares about the crime issue. There's been the defund the police movement. How do we get some peace back into our communities and start to address the rising threats of crime to communities all over the country?
Well, first of all, most of the people I know are just outright furious at any notion of defunding the police. I had the parents in my office yesterday here in Kansas City of a police officer who shot in Independence, Missouri, part of my district. And it just saddened me to sit here and watch one of them crying because their son was willing to put his life on the line to protect this community. And so I think that we can't talk about defund the police. I think that that's out of the door. But I do think that we've got to try to make sure that we have sufficient police in every community. And we've had programs and still have some programs that will allow local departments to hire police, and the federal government will fund it. But it's funded for a 3-year period. And as a former mayor here in Kansas City, I can tell you, because we took advantage of it when I was mayor, after the 3 years, if the municipal budget can't handle that additional cost, you end up laying off 300 police officers. But I think when we get good brains together and then also the law enforcement community, we've got to figure out ways in which to get more police officers on the street. Yes. And from my perspective, I know this is not a popular position with your audience necessarily, but we got to get some of the guns off the street. I tell I have 3 kids, 3 sons. I tell them all the time, assume that everybody has a gun. When you get it to a stoplight, turn your music down. Do everything you can to try to discourage people from getting angry, because I think right now people are carrying guns everywhere.
And I think but I would agree with you. And we want to make sure we have lawful gun ownership, and we want to get illegal guns off the street. I would join you in that. And to have you talk about, it's not the right approach to defund the police is music to my ears. Hopefully both sides can come together. I think one of the challenges we're going to have, Congressman, is, can we get men and women, good men and women, like the family that you mentioned about their son, that are going to volunteer to say, I'm willing to serve for not a lot of money and protect my community. Police officers from around the country have been demonized. We got to change that narrative to encourage people to come back in and do this really hard job. And if we don't change the narrative, you're not going to get good people in there. I'll give you 30 seconds before we have to run.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We've got people who are willing to give up everything they have, including their lives, to protect others. And so together we got to support the police department. And one of the things we ought to do is Democrats and Republicans in Washington, when we come back in January, we ought to start meeting together with intentionality on what can we do to help local police and the battle against crime.
Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, always a fair-minded congressman, someone who could always get a deal with, always looking to have bipartisanship, but always, a fighter for his ideas. Congressman, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Good with you.